30 million people living in Africa, what are you telling them? And some very powerful, very famous people literally said, well, gosh, we feel bad, but I think with HIV, we're talking about the next generation. So once again, even though we had the drugs, a death sentence was declared on, this time, a lot more people, 30 million people. Sound familiar? So what did we do? This is a recent photo, but this is the most famous HIV patient in the world, Joseph Jun. Joseph is a friend of mine, and he came in. His mother, the question she asked Paul Farmer when she brought him in Haiti was, can I borrow some money for his coffin? I mean, he looks like he was dying. And we haven't seen pictures like this in the United States since 1996. We don't let patients get this sick. But Joseph was suffering from TB and HIV. Luckily, his tuberculosis was not drug resistant. So we treated him for both TB and HIV. And 6 months later, he looked like this. We called this the Lazarus effect of HIV treatment. And it's important not because HIV is any more important than any of the other diseases that poor people suffer from. It's important because this stirs the imagination of politicians, stirs the imagination of donors, stirs the imagination of people who may not understand risks of pandemic flu from an epidemiological point of view, but understand what it means to save somebody's life. And we knew that. As anthropologists, we knew that. We knew that this was not more important than children dying of diarrheal disease. That's just as important, and we need to take that on just as much. But these pictures, we thought, would have a special impact on the people who make big decisions about money. So in 2003, at about that same time, Dr. J.W. Lee, who tragically passed away, became Director General of the World Health Organization, and I ran his campaign. And it was a totally bizarre election. He was running against the head of a UN agency, the former prime minister of an African country, and the Minister of Health of Mexico. All incredibly well-known candidates, and he won. And we did okay. We did well with that particular campaign. We counted the votes, and we got him elected. And he called me and said, I want you to come to WHO. And I said, I hate Geneva. Why would I? Sorry if any Swiss people are here. I apologize. But you know, Geneva has just about the worst Chinese and Korean food I've ever tasted. It's really expensive. And there are ordinances, there are actual ordinances that say, one, you can't mow your lawn on Sundays, and you can't flush the toilet in an apartment building after 10 o'clock. So, you know, when we first moved there, we were in an apartment, we flushed the toilet every night at 10:30 and waited at the door to see if they'd come and arrest us. But this was not a place that I love to go to. But he said, come to WHO and help me run it. And I said, I will, but you've got to let us do something about HIV.